Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome back to the Mod Sauce. I like to do this, it's pretty fun. I messed up the other day and ended up way high, so I really like to do that. I don't know why. So just a quick progress report. This has been running on its own. I put a DSU here. I set a blacklist on the ender chest for Yellowite so that it all goes through the pulverizer and furnace, and then gets stored in a deep storage unit. And this is what we've got. We've got 1500-ish, and we've used almost 3 stacks, and this has probably been about 3 days. 2 or 3, I don't know. I've been streaming Friday and Saturday. Today's Sunday. Had a lot of fun yesterday. In the evening I played Crash Landing. Blizzard popped in, Brink popped in, had a couple of Twitch followers on there with me. I'm still trying to work out what day I'll be able to stream consistently at like the same time. I'm going to shoot for 1 day a week and then maybe just fill in randomly as I have time throughout the week. So I will let you guys know when I make that determination. We've got a new guy on the server. If you've watched me for any length of time, you've probably heard me mention Monkey Puzzle. He's been a sub of mine for a long time, and we communicate pretty regularly. But the other guys and I decided to add him to the server, and he is here. So I'm going to have to add his info to my little blip in the description, so definitely check him out in addition to the other guys. So on with today's episode. I already tried to record one and realized that I obviously don't know anything about the new Buildcraft. I made the assembly table, and all the gate recipes are different. Well, the main chipsets are the same, but the gates, there's now something called the integration table. Here's the recipe. So you have to make your assembly table, get a redstone chipset, which I have, and I wanted to make an autarkic gate, and normally you just make pulsating chipsets and all that. But now you have to put everything in the integration table and add it to either a basic gate or an AND gate. And I think I still have my failed setup over here. I have a problem with these generators, and I've mentioned it in the past. If they need power, say they only need like a couple hundred RF, they'll eat a whole 8 cooked meat, and it's a waste, and I don't want to do that. So I was thinking of a way to feed these guys and not waste a bunch of meat ingots. I mean, we have them to waste, but I don't want to waste them. These 3 generators, they get zombie flesh, and these 2 have been getting meat ingots. But I haven't had this thing on because this whole setup will run just off the zombie flesh. So I need a little extra power. The laser drill is eating most of the power from the turbine, and the pulverizer and furnace in my base are eating up the rest of it. I just had to, if I can get through the door, I had to remove the storage monitors from the ME system and throw a couple more export buses on because the ores we're getting from this thing, I'm getting lag. What's happening, lag? Come on. I'm the only one on here. Hello. Okay. We're getting a bunch of extra ores, and I think I actually might have missed the nether gold. Let me double check that. This donkey's getting on my nerves. I got him out of a random safari net. So I added all these guys that go through the pulverizer and powered furnace with no problem. We'll throw nether gold in here. So that's all set. I've got the redstone and a couple other things going to the enrichment chamber. because you get more redstone and lapis out of this than you do out of the pulverizer or whatever. And then I've got some set up on this one. So everything, for the most part, should be processing. So that added 3 more channels. So I had to remove the monitors because as soon as I added one more, or I think the second one I added, it actually disconnected my drives. So I didn't want to get into channels until I had a chance to move everything. So I just took the monitors away. But so the first world Minecraft problem has been solved. So I've already got 2 iron AND gates, and I think that's all I'm going to need. What I'm going to need to do is make an integration table, probably put a pulsating chipset on one of them, and then we should be able to do this. So let me make this integration table and a couple other pipes, and then we'll get it set up. Okay, I think that's everything. I need to find out how to make a pulsating chipset. It used to be an ender pearl and something else. Just an ender pearl and redstone. I probably have some redstone over there. But we'll grab a couple just because. And I don't think I'm going to need the structure pipe. I don't need that. And I couldn't place one of my lasers. I just made a half a stack. And I thought, yeah, that'll work. And I ended up, I probably need a couple more to make it symmetrical. But that's not a problem. We've got plenty of resources. So the way I set this up, I've got a tesseract here. And what I normally like to do is put a structure pipe on the bottom of this guy so that it only sends a redstone signal from the gate when the machine has work to do to turn this on and off, because these guys will bleed energy whether it's working or not. So let me get rid of this. And I do have one more laser. And good, I still have my conduit. This is my second re-record today. Okay, so there's one extra laser. I'm probably going to make one more for this side and then 3 more to go right here. And then I'm going to make facades to cover them up. And I've got to make a couple of facades for the outside as well, because the conduit actually shows on the outside. So let's hide those lights. Alright, so I've never used this integration table. We need to make our pulsating chipset first. So let's throw our ender pearls in there, select that, and probably turn this guy on. There's a little power left over in the conduits. If you don't put a chest next to this, it just spits out the gates and stuff. But the magnet should get it, so I'm not really worried about that. Alright, so now I think we can just put this down next to it. It'll use the same lasers. If we take one of these gates and one of these, the installed expansion says autarkic pulsar. This has no expansion. So there's another expansion for a clock timer and something else that we don't really need. So we can now take these, and it looks like this automatically exports to that. It had 2 pulsating chipsets, and I only put in 1. So that's good information to have. So whatever I said about the chest, it'll put in any inventory. I know it'll put in ME interface or whatever. Okay, so now we have an AND gate, and we have an AND gate with autarkic expansion. So let's go over here. These things aren't going to need any power for a while. I've got some of these down here. Just a couple. I need to add a capacitor bank, make a bigger bank of them somewhere else. But all of our meat has been processed, so I mean there's really nothing for it to do right now. But they don't have any inventory. Like I said, these three, they get zombie flesh, and I probably put some cooked meat in a few of them. So they have conduits on the bottom for zombie flesh. This one, I believe it does. Let's make sure. I'll rebuild all this later. Yeah, so those conduits have zombie flesh in, but it stops at this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a gold pipe right here. We're going to put a diamond transport pipe right here. And we're going to put a wooden one on top of here. Now, there's probably a better way to do it than a diamond transport pipe. What I want to happen is, I haven't already. What I want to happen is I wanted to put meat in there if it can go, and if not, it should go down the line to this one. And there used to be an insertion pipe, but I couldn't find one. So there's probably a better way, but I don't know it. So this should work. So we're going to put our gate here with the pulsar, and we're going to tell it when you get, well, I got to put the wire on first. My bad. We'll run our pipe wire all the way down here. We're going to tell this guy, if you get a blue pipe signal, I want you to energy pulsar. And then we're going to put the other gate on this one. And we're going to tell it when your inventory is empty, I want a blue pipe signal. So whenever this generator is empty, it's going to send meat ingots. They're going to try to go into this generator. And then once it's full, which should be just a minute. Okay, so that one's full. It won't accept any more items, so the rest of them should go here. Once the first one hits, the blue pipe signal turns off, and the rest of the meat ingots just get put in here. So the idea is, when this generator empties, it'll turn on a pipe signal. It'll fill both generators. This one always has more because it's the first one to receive items. And this one should get around 24 every time, which is fine because there's about a 1 minute buffer when it eats the last 8 meat ingots. So it's really hard to demonstrate when they have a full energy buffer. But I want to start running this thing all the time. I want to load the chunk, let it go for extra power. Well, I mean, for its intended purpose in the first place, I haven't used it yet. But if we turn the thing on, now these things won't constantly get fed meat that they don't need. And, if this thing is down 100 RF and it eats 8 meat ingots, it's not just going to send it more unnecessarily. So, like I said, I mean, we have a pretty good stockpile, but I just don't like to waste things, unless it's for something fun. Something like this, I want it to run pretty efficiently. At some point, we may need to add another something to cook stuff, because this one alloy smelter does not keep up with the amount of liquid meat that we generate from this setup. I thought it would, but it's not quite enough. So there's our pretty little Buildcraft setup, and it probably works just fine. Again, I'm sure there's a better way to do this part, but I don't know it. And I'm sure Chillum will watch the video and go, "Oi, mate, you could have just done this." And I'll go, "Oh, my bad, dude. Where were you 8 hours ago when I recorded?" But that's all right. If he tells me a better way, then I'll go ahead and look into it. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. There is an update available to the mod pack. It adds Railcraft, Computercraft, and Galacticraft. I don't know when we're going to update. Computercraft would have come in really handy at the beginning. Railcraft as well. But Galacticraft is a pretty endgame thing. So as soon as we add it, I'm going to start working on it, and we're going to make a moon base. That'll give me something to do. So I'm going to try to start moving stuff, finally. Get some stuff set up over here, and maybe do some streaming today. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like. So once again, check out Monkey Puzzle if you haven't already. Check out the other guys as well. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please leave them down below. If you want to check out a stream, follow me on Twitch. The link should be in the video description. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.